When it comes to Pokemon, 6-0 out the door. When it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, OTK and for sure. Servon 1212 is the name you ought to know. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see some more. What's happening, YouTube? Servon 1212 here. The following video is from a subscriber of mine. He said he had made a really cool deck profile for Galaxies. I watched the video, I liked it, and he asked me to upload it to my channel, so that's what I did. I want you guys to be nice in the comment section and show support. He's running a few obscure cards. He doesn't run other cards that he wants to because he can't afford them at the current moment. But I thought his deck was really cool, so I decided to upload it. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out his channel. It'll be linked in the description.
Hey everyone, this is David Lewis, and as you can see, I'm Yu-Gi-Oh'd out with my shirt of Rory from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 on. And so today I'm going to be doing my deck profile of my Galaxy deck as of the start of the month of February 2016. So, here's what I got here. Alright, to start off, I've got 3 copies of Galaxy Wizard. It's like one of the essential search cards in deck, plus it can double its level, so just in case I don't have, a few of the level 8s here in the deck on the field. I'm gonna put that aside. I've got 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. I'm sorry in the inconvenience and how I'm going to transition from cards a little slowly, but I am only using one hand to do this because my other hand's on my iPod, which means also there's also going to be a few areas with how to focus, so I apologize for that. I run 3 in the deck. This deck is nearly pretty much all light monsters in it. In fact, I think every single monster is a light one, so yeah. We mainly want to use to discard him with Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon, because he's a monster you want to hit the graveyard, because you can get him back with different cards in the deck. I run 3 Galaxy Knights. This is for, I run it at 3, most people run it 2, but the reason why I run it 3 is not only does he have the effect where, when he's normal summon, he can bring back Photon Dragon, but I can also use him as a target for Galaxy Expedition. And get out other monsters other than the Prime Photon. And then I run the main star of the deck, Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. He is at 3. There's another card on the bottom of that, and I know exactly who that is. Yeah, he's the main trump card of the deck that you want to definitely use. And of course, 2 copies of Swordsman Revealing Light in case my opponent declares a direct attack. I can pretty much put a level 8 on the field to set up my next turn. It doesn't hurt. That can also has the chance to destroy my opponent's monster. Not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of Galaxy Ice Cloud Dragon because of his graveyard effect and his normal effect. Not a lot of people know that you can also use it on Galaxy Ice monsters that are actually Xyz ones and use it on the graveyard. And then proceed to rank up Tachyon to say full armor. And then this is the one bizarre one I have that a lot of people are going to question me for. But 1 Pendulum, Master Pendulum to Draco Slayer, and then Exing Magician. The reason why I run, even though I don't pendulum summon with this deck, they mainly have him act like spells. He can pop stuff, and then I can basically use her effect to change, say, Felgrand into a level 8, and then overlay with Felgrand when I have, only 1 level 8 on the field, and then, that kind of thing. Also, I could pendulum summon with these too. I could pendulum summon a bunch of soldiers and wizards, and then soldiers' effect would go off. 1 Curry Photon, again, protection. And then I'm going to run 1 copy Excellite. I just found out that 2 really clogs up my hand, and 1 is pretty nice. I mean, it's kind of like I draw it when I kind of need to more, rather than just having it at the most inconvenient times. Got 1 Galaxy Zero, because 2 is a little much. Most people run 2. I can see why they do it, but just for me, I don't really need the second one. Yeah. 1 Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, for number 1 of 7, plus it's probably one of the best rank ups in the game, because you can just draw and get a free 45k on the field, 4k 500 on the field, and then, if worst comes to worst, you draw it like with Upstart Goblin or something like that, which I don't have in the deck, but like with Trade-In, if you draw it with Trade-In, you can always use it as a discard for another spell here that's coming up here in a sec. 2 copies of Photon Stream of Destruction. This is another destruction card, because we all know how much galaxies hate traps. Also, I can use this on monsters as well. And the best part is, it removes them from play. So it's kind of like, more than likely, you're not going to see those cards back. 2 copies of Galaxy Expedition, don't need to be explained. I tried 3, didn't work out as well, so I'm running 2 of them. And then I have 2 copies of Trade-In for draw power. Discard, preferably Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon. 1 copy of Regeki. 1 copy of Twin Twisters, and this is the card that I would use. And then I would my first option would be to discard rank up the 7th one if it was in my hand. Other than that, I could discard like Galaxy Eyes, Photon Dragon, Curry Photon, and then use Curry Photon's effect to bring it back to hand by discarding Galaxy Eyes later on in the match. Stuff like that. Plus, I can destroy 2 back row. Magical Spring, a draw power card. This also is another card that depends on the opponent's, like, all the spells and traps on your opponent's field, which means, like, with pendulums and stuff, you're going to be drawing quite a few cards. And now onto the traps. I run more traps than most Galaxy deck users do, just because I don't like the idea of being wide open like most Galaxy decks tend to be. So here's what I'm going to do. I actually have, right here, 2 copies of Mirror Force, the regular one. If it was actually cheap, I would get the, I think it's the Storm Mirror Force or something like that, the one where you return all the cards to hand. Yeah. Then I've got 2 copies of Dimensional Prison to banish your stuff, because, you know, when Mirror Force isn't enough. 2 copies of Call of the Haunted for reviving my stuff in the graveyard. And then Tachyon Transmigration. If I had a copy of the second one, I would definitely put in the deck. It is basically like the 7 tools of the Iron Bandits of the deck. It negates stuff, you know. And then shuffles it back of the deck, which could mess up with the consistency of the user. You never know. 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole. Self-explanatory. I'm the only one that's allowed to have beat sticks on the field. And lastly, 1 copy of Trap Stun. Yeah. You know, traps are the bane of the Galaxy Eyes deck existence, so I use that to counter. And now we're on to the extra deck. And so with my extra deck, what I tend to run here are 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. Probably the center card of the deck. I usually go into him in nearly every match. Yeah. Oops, sorry. And of course, there was actually a point in time earlier in this video when I moved the camera up. I apologize, and I kind of bumped my camera there. 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Dragon. I run him in 2 because nearly my entire deck is full of Galaxy Eyes. So, yeah. And then we've got 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter. Now, the reason why I have them at 2 is because I don't have that Wind-Up Zimora, I think its name is, yet. And it's really expensive. But as soon as I get them, I'm going to be taking one of them out. Because, yeah, Zimora's pretty good. You know, he's another pop back row type guy that I want. 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. He's a very good card. Again, I usually use him to rank up into, you know, the All Full Armor, Dark Matter, and then the next card, which I mentioned earlier. That is number C107, Galaxy Eyes Prime. No, I don't know why I said Prime. Tachyon Dragon. 45k, 4,500 beat stick on the field for free. And then plus, you know, I can always tribute 2 monsters and just be like, hey, I can attack you 3 times, bruh. And then this is where the Galaxy stuff ends in the deck. Extra deck. So next we got number 23, a 2k beat stick that attacks directly, and I can basically he negates stuff on the field, so he protects himself from destruction twice, which is pretty neat. Aslan, the Sylvan Forest Protector, again for draw power, and also he can move back row off the field when I need it. Divine Felgrand. Felgrand's explanatory. He's unaffected by stuff. Heliopolis, again, kind of explanatory. He's going to blow up stuff on the field and help advance, and then put that Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in the graveyard. And then we've got Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. If you're going to get someone that's an Xyz oriented deck like Satellar Knights or with Dolces and stuff, it's just GG with his effect. Negate everything in detach. Your opponent detaches all their Xyz materials against 500 and can attack that many times. In fact, he starts out with 45k too. And then lastly, Shark Fortress. Now, the reason why I didn't go with Volcasaurus is because he can't attack the turn you activate his effect. And also, I don't find ranking up in the Gaia to be that worth it. It just takes up an extra deck slot that could be used for other stuff. And plus, Prime Photon Dragon with the ability to attack twice. That's like twice the damage when they're wide open. And also, the other thing I would say, the only other things I would add is maybe a fusion monster in the extra deck. I don't know if I were to somehow get an instant fusion. Oh yeah, and then make all the Galaxy Eyes stuff like Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, and Neo Galaxy Eyes Ghost Rare, because I actually collect Galaxy Eyes cards, and outside this deck I have 11 more. And that is my deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe.
H,